They're able to produce somewhere in the region of 2 million Mars bars in a day. Slough is a town of some notoriety. The wartime poet John Betjeman penned the famous line, "Come friendly bombs and fall on Slough." And in more recent years, the town was used as the backdrop for the comedy series The Office, starring Ricky Gervais and Martin Freeman. In the distance ahead of us is the western elevation of Eton College Chapel. This was completed in 1482, almost 34 years after its construction began. The college was founded to provide a free education for 70 boys. As the school grew, more students were allowed to attend, provided they paid fees and lived in the town outside the college buildings. These students became known as oppidums, from the Latin word oppidum, meaning town. In fact, in those days, the boys were required to speak Latin at all times, risking punishment if they failed to do so. To this day, the college at any time has 70 King's Scholars, as they are known, in honour of their origins. There are also music, foundation and sixth form scholarships, meaning that at any time around 20% of the boys are subject to reduced fees, and in some cases no fees at all. The college in fact states that no parent with a talented boy should feel that Eton is necessarily beyond their means, dispelling the myth that only the very wealthy can aspire to sending their sons to Eton. Bank between here and the railway bridge, we'll pass two small green footbridges. These are the upper and lower bargemen's bridges, and as their name suggests, they were originally built to facilitate the pulling of horse-drawn barges. The bridges cross the downstream ends of the Cuckoo Weir stream, which divides a little further up. This intriguing stretch of water can be seen by taking one of our half-hour explorer trips, which depart from the tea gardens near Jacob's Island. Operating in fair weather during the peak season, the low-level 12-seat open boat is ideal to negotiate the low trees and bridges while skimming over the shallow riverbed, affording a unique view of wildlife and the untrodden overgrown banks. This boat also passes close to the Swan Lifeline Centre. Because for many years it was believed that the building was built and lived in by Sir Christopher Wren, the architect of the 17th and 18th centuries. However, in recent years it was realised that no evidence exists to show that this was his home. Whilst it is known that Wren did indeed live in Windsor when his father became the Dean of Windsor, it is not known where. Wren was responsible for designing the dome of St Paul's Cathedral, the London Observatory and 51 London churches after the Great Fire of 1666. He also completed the building of the Windsor Guildhall, started by Sir Thomas Fitz, who died before completion. We're now nearing the end of our trip, and we would like to thank you for cruising with us today, and we hope you've had a pleasant time on the River Thames. Our boats are available day and evening for a range of trips, including private hire. Whether you're planning a birthday party, wedding reception or a company event, our boats can provide the perfect venue, and we operate all year round. So whether you're tempted by a supper cruise, live jazz, murder mystery, casino or 70s revival, we have something to suit all tastes. And for the steam enthusiast, there are a range of trips offering a chance to enjoy the Thames in the style of the Victorians on either one of our coal-fired steamboats. Please take one of our public trip timetables. This gives details of all our scheduled sailings, and these trips are also available for group hire. Please make sure that you have all your personal belongings with you. And once again, thank you very much for cruising with us today. not in residence, the Union flag is flown. As we approach the end of our trip, we see Windsor Bridge coming into view ahead. There was likely to have been a wooden crossing here in the 1100s following the construction of the castle. Records show that in 1242 permission was granted for oak trees to be felled in Windsor Forest for the construction of a new bridge between Windsor and Eton. This stood until 1819, when after damage and deterioration, a replacement was decided upon. The architect Sir Charles Hollis designed the bridge you see here today, using cast iron on buttresses of granite, and it was completed in 1824. The Windsor Corporation used to charge tolls for crossing the bridge, but after much public protest, these were abolished in 1898. In 1970, an underwater survey showed that the buttresses were becoming undermined by water erosion, and it was no longer safe to carry the weight of modern traffic, so it was pedestrianised. Fortunately, Queen Elizabeth Bridge had been opened 4 years earlier and was able to carry all road traffic heading north out of Windsor. In January 1066. The proximity to the River Thames was no doubt the prime reason for choosing this location, the waterway being the main highway to London in the east. After the Norman conquest, William built a ring of fortresses within 1 day's march of London, of which Windsor is undoubtedly the finest. In addition, the extensive Windsor Forest offered excellent hunting, and William chose to live there until his death in 1087. The concept of castles was unknown to the Saxons, and it was part of William's plan to ensure the permanence of the conquest. The castle has been added to by various monarchs, not always to the benefit of its appearance, until the arrival of King George IV. He employed the architect James Wyatt, who did much to reshape and modernise the castle, improving the